bring light your way. What is up, Prosper Wellness coaching family? My name is Coach Trevor, as always. I don't think my name's changed recently. Here I have Nick L with me. Today we're going to talk about Nick's journey, both before us, with us, and after us, because it's been a little while since we worked with you now, Nick. So before we even get started, Nick, I would love if you just really quickly introduce yourself. You know, who are you? What do you do? Where do you live? Tell us about Nick.
So my name's Nick. I am a nurse. I live on Long Island in New York, and I started with this company back in March. And honestly, it was one of the best decisions I ever made because I knew I wanted to feel better, and it wasn't necessarily even about like looking better or losing weight or anything. I just like kind of felt sluggish, and I felt like, I don't know, like lazy. I couldn't like motivate myself to do things and stuff. And Trevor helped me a lot with meal plans and workout plans and things like that. And it went really well for me. Especially he was able to work into my busy schedule. As a nurse, I work 12 hours. So my schedule is different like every week because I work 3 days a week, but it's different every week. So he was able to like accommodate that with days where I would work out and days where I wouldn't, and meal planning and things like that. And it was just, I tried different like diets and diet plans and things like that in the past, and none of them really ever took off or went really well for me. And I think it's great that like I've stopped working with him now, but I'm still using things that he taught me, and I've been able to maintain. I lost weight, and I'm able to maintain it. I keep it off, and it's not really. It's not like even like I'm stressing about it. It's just like my habits now. Like it's just what I do. It's not like I'm trying to like lose weight. Like I'm maintaining, and it's the first time that this has happened.
That's awesome. I think anytime we bring on somebody to our family, that's our goal, right? You know, I think when you work with a coach, the bare minimum is to reach your goal. That is like what's expected. That's what we hope that you do, no matter who you work with. That should be expected. But what happens when you're done working with that coach, right?
Right.
Now, if you all of a sudden, you know, let's say you lost some weight, which you did, you lost a bunch of weight, you lose the weight. What happens if I check back 3 months later, 6 months later, 10 years later? If you gained the weight back, what was the point, right?
Right.
You wasted your time, you wasted your money. I mean, really, that's the goal. So I know for us, our goal for you is to always instill kind of those lifestyle and habit changes so that you truly do not need us anymore. And I remember that conversation. You know, you said, "Hey, I probably don't need you guys anymore." Yeah, but I also remember, you know, you were like, "Hey, I think I'm kind of good now," and I was like, "Yeah, I think you are too. You know, go live your life now." So I think I want to start back in the beginning of your journey, you know, and just in regards to your health and, you know, in your workouts and your nutrition. What was life like before you worked with Prosper Wellness Coaching? And what was it like navigating that on your own, or even some of the other things you tried?
Honestly, I wasn't really doing much of anything. I was a member of a gym near me, and I didn't really, I went maybe like 1 to 2 times a week, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I also was kind of embarrassed to ever ask for help. So I kind of watched other people kind of like tried to imitate what they did. And I had no real plan of like, oh, I'm going to do like this muscle group today. I'm going to do this today and different things. I just kind of like whatever I saw people doing, I kind of did. And obviously that didn't really work. I felt okay afterwards, but I didn't really see any results or anything. And I think the biggest change after I started working with Prosper Wellness was just knowing like what I could eat in a day. And the best thing for me was that I wasn't like starving myself. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't like, like I'm like depriving myself, because I've done stuff like that in the past, and it's like it doesn't last because I always just like break. It gets to like 10 o'clock at night, and then like I raid the fridge. But like I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing that because like I was kind of like satisfied, and so it was helpful to learn like the kinds of foods that I could eat that like I really liked. And what I like a lot about what you did was that you kind of like you sent out this survey of like my favorite foods and kind of like tried to work those into it.
Yeah.
Which is good. And then
yeah, I mean, you've got to eat foods you like, right? I mean,
yeah,
I think there's a lot of programs out there
hard.
where, yeah, I mean, there's programs where people will say, hey, like eat this spinach, eat this kale, eat this tofu, right? And you're like, okay, yeah, I realize this is probably healthy for me, but I can't stick with this. And
right.
it took us some time, but what we realized is teach people how to eat, but teach them how to eat within a framework that actually works for you, right? I mean,
yeah,
there's healthy foods you like, and there's unhealthy foods you still like that you can work into your day and make it work. But as long as you're eating foods you like, you'll stick with it. Yeah, right. I mean, shoot, I had a glass of wine long enough ago that it wore off. So I mean, I'm just kidding. Okay, so moving kind of now, when I know I probably we had a conversation way back when. I know there was that point where you finally decided, hey, I want to work with Prosper Wellness, but think back when you made that decision. What was it, if you can remember, that made you say, okay, I do think I want to work with them. I think Coach Trevor might be right for me. Yeah. Like what made you just like, all right, I'm going to pull the trigger?
So I don't know if this is, this might sound funny, but it was back in, I think March, like early March. And I was planning a vacation with family friends.
Yep.
And we were planning a trip to Vegas over the summer. And I wanted to, obviously it's hot in Vegas and we'll be at the pool and things like that. And I never felt comfortable like with my shirt off at the pool or anything like that. And I was like, I'm like tired of feeling like that. And that was my goal, to like kind of just at least feel better about myself by July, which I guess was like 4 months. And it really, I mean, it worked. Like I'm not like saying like, oh, like I have this like perfect, body now, but like I still have a long way to go. But like for the first time, I felt better about myself. I wasn't like as self-conscious. I, usually just like sit on the lounge chair with a towel over me, and like I was able to just take my shirt off and just lay down, and like I didn't feel embarrassed or anything, which was like,
I remember seeing the pictures
feeling
when you were out there, and it was like so rewarding to me. It's like this is literally like what we talked about when we started. I know we worked a little bit beyond that too, but it was just like, it was so cool to see, because you talked about that, and when we first started, it was like, I want this, but right now I'm not comfortable taking my shirt off, and I don't really like love that, but I'm going to Vegas and I want to make it work. And I think at the end of the day, like, yeah, we can give you an awesome meal plan that fits what you need. We can tell you what workouts to do, but it's still you that did it. I mean, you made that happen. That had to have been just so rewarding for you.
It really was. It was a fun summer too, because like I always just never really felt comfortable in my skin, and I still struggle with that a little bit, but like it's gotten so much better, and it continues to get better just because of what I learned from you guys, and I keep trying to put that into play in like my daily life now, even though we've stopped working together, but I took what I learned from you and I still use it. So it's kind of like we're still.
Well, and that's always the goal too. It's anytime we bring somebody on, and this is actually admittedly a little bit different from when you started. We say, hey, we want to work with you for a specific amount of time, and that's it. I don't want to work with somebody any longer than that, because we need to reach your goal. We need to hit an efficient time. We need to then spend just a little bit of time preparing you for how to maintain that. And then we need you to go live your life, right? I want lifelong friends. Nick, I genuinely want you in my life for the rest of my life, and I hope I get to be a part of yours. But I don't ever want you as a client ever again, because I don't, not only do I not want you to ever need that, you shouldn't. You have the tools now, and I truly think you'll be successful. Not only without us, but without any coach and without any planning. I mean, you've got the tools. So and that's always my goal. So I know, because I can hear it. You're like, oh, like I left Prosper Wellness Coaching. Yeah, that's the point, right?
Yeah.
That's when you're successful. If you were still with us, if anything, that would just say like, okay, he still needs us. You don't.
Yeah.
You were successful. You're rocking it now. So I'm happy you don't need us. That's awesome. Yeah. So I still kind of looking to when you started, when you started up, because it's probably different than anything you've done before. With fully remote online, right? I've never even seen you in person. there's other barriers. What was your main concern that, maybe came close to preventing you from starting with us and buying into what we're doing?
I definitely was worried about the remote thing because I just knew myself and didn't think that I would be able to like motivate myself if there wasn't someone there like physically like telling me what to do, like this is what you need to do. And but it really wasn't a problem. Especially like in the beginning, this with the plans, that just wasn't, it was so like customized to me that I felt like, I don't know, it was just, there was no way like I couldn't be successful with it, because, and you kept me accountable too, like you texted me every day and which is a good thing. And
Yeah.
I would ask you questions and you never got annoyed. You never like said, oh, this guy's texting me again. And I had a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And I remember like the first couple of weeks I was at the supermarket, like buying stuff like on on the meal plan and things. And I was like, can I use this instead of this? And you were like, yeah, go ahead. Like, that's fine. And you were very much present. So it didn't really feel like remote, honestly.
Yeah.
It just felt like you were just helping me.
Yeah. And that's something that I can tell people, but I think hearing it from you is probably very powerful. There's a difference in working with someone remote when it's truly done right. It's 24/7 accountability, right? If you go work with somebody at the gym, there's 2, maybe 3 hours out of the week, but what do you do the other hours, right?
Right. Yeah.
So having someone truly with you whenever you need them, I think that's a very powerful thing. And it's, you'll find that as you are more and more educated, you probably did need me less and less, but in the beginning, we're educating you on a lot of things. We're exposing a lot of new things. We expect you to need us. We expect you to ask questions, and we're going to challenge you as well. But that's, I'm almost nervous when somebody doesn't ask questions, because it's like, hey, I know this is new to you. Why aren't you asking?
I definitely had a lot of questions.
Yeah, but they were always. I mean, there's really no bad questions, because you were learning some new things, learning some new skills, and that's very cool. So, as you were going through your program, maybe kind of think somewhere as you kind of in the thick of it, what surprised you most when you were working with Prosper Wellness Coaching?
What surprised me most was that I wasn't like hating it.
I actually hear that a lot. That's funny.
Because I had worked with like another it was like a personal trainer in the past, and it was someone that I knew through work, and I had a meal plan and stuff, and he like had like different workout plans and stuff. It was just like, here, do this, and like get back to me next week. And like I was like, I don't really like this, and it was like kind of like the same foods every day. So it was like, I was like, this is like torture. Like, I like to eat. So I think the biggest surprise to me was that I was actually like satisfied with the foods I was eating, and like the workouts, they weren't like killing me, but they were like challenging me, and they got better. Like I kind of got like better and better at them as time went on. And I got used to like the kinds of things that you would have me do. And I think.
Are you saying that we didn't make it hard enough? No, I'm kidding.
No, you did. It was definitely. It was definitely hard enough. But I like that you had the videos showing me how to like do the certain workouts, just especially because I was just working out at home. I didn't go to a gym or anything, so like I had really no equipment really in the beginning. So
I remember that.
I was surprised that like I was getting results without really, like, I didn't have to go to the gym. I was just kind of working out in my backyard.
I remember that. If I remember right too, your first month, we were only doing 3 workouts a week.
Yeah.
So we were really locked in on nutrition, maybe doing a little, just changing some subtle lifestyle things, but it wasn't, and this is kind of a principle of what, and I'm sure you've kind of learned this. You don't need to be working out 7 days a week to reach your goals, unless you're training for like the next Mr. Olympia, which, if you're somebody watching this video right now, I'm not going to train you for the next Mr. Olympia. That's not what I do. But, unless you're doing that, it's silly. And I tell people all the time, for you, right, you had a weight loss goal. You lost a good amount of weight. I think I was going to kind of save the number for the end, but we started close to 190. Nick, what do you weigh right now? If you don't mind me asking.
That's right, 166.
Awesome. So around 25 pounds, and then we're sticking right around that 166 now, right? And that's,
Yep.
and that's a weight that you're happy at, that you want to continue to stay at.
Awesome. Yes, absolutely. And that was another thing I was like hesitant about. Well, and surprised about, because in the beginning, like I was losing weight pretty quickly, but I was nervous. I was like, this has happened before, but I was never able to keep it. It always just came back, but it didn't. And like, it was never this much weight either. It was like maybe like 10 pounds, like, but like, this was like a fair amount of weight that I lost. And I just like felt better. My clothes were fitting better. I just like felt better going out. Like I just felt more confident. And the main thing for me was feeling better. What?
Yeah. I remember getting a lot of texts about that, like, oh, this fits me, or oh, I'm doing this. And it just happy moments for me. It was kind of like bliss, like, oh, that's what we talked about. I loved it.
Yeah.
But I think there's a couple things there. I was kind of starting to get at, and me, I can be long-winded when I explain things. But, the first one is that, as you're losing that weight, it has to be done in a way that's sustainable. And that's in a few different uses of the word, but sustainable in the sense that, if you go on some all-out sprint and lose 25, 30 pounds, but you do it in a way that you couldn't continue to do those things, the weight will come back, right? Even if you go on some all-out sprint. Yeah, but you're doing things that you could just continue. It's comfortable. You're living your life. The weight's not coming back. The second thing is, most people can probably lose 5 to 10 pounds on their own. But there's that very special first plateau where you need to make very specific, very intentional adjustments. And if if you don't have the right coach that knows how to do that, you'll either stick there or even just bounce back to where you were. And I think that's probably something you had lived in the past, where those specific levers weren't pulled. Yeah. Okay. Awesome, man. So I know it hasn't been a ton of time, but it's, we're removed from working for me a little bit. Tell me just a little bit about what life is like after Prosper Wellness Coaching. What is, compared to where you were when you started to now, what does life look like without us?
Well, I just know more about what I can do to keep myself healthy now. Like I remember, like, in the beginning when we started working together, what would be on the meal plans and stuff. And I know it's not about like a specific plan, like planning out everything, but I kind of know, and I have an idea of what I can eat in a day that'll like satisfy my hunger and give me enough energy, but also not make me feel like sluggish and stuff. So like, especially with working, I still meal prep in the beginning of the week. And another thing I liked was that it wasn't just grilled chicken every day.
I think that's like the number one concern people have. They're like, if I have to eat another chicken breast,
it's like, no, enough. Cause like after we stopped working together, I still had, like, I would buy similar things from the store. Like I would, like some days I have salmon, some days I have tilapia, some days I have chicken, some days I make like myself like little sliders, and everything's really good. Like, and I like experiment now with like putting different things on it, and some things I like, some things I don't like, but like it didn't know like how to like balance out my meals, if that makes sense, before. Totally. Like I would just eat, like bring like, I don't know, like a Hot Pocket to work, and like like I don't know, a banana or whatever. And then, but now I actually have things that I enjoy eating. And it's
very cool.
Yeah, I like know what I can eat and what I can't and stuff.
Right. With nutrition, what we've found too is it's very much, you don't know what you don't know, and that's okay. It's, eating is one of the biggest emotional things we do, first and foremost. So if you don't have a plan and you're just always trying to make emotional decisions, that's hard. It's difficult to make the right decisions. So even if you just look at it from the day you're born until you're at least able to move your hands, somebody's feeding you. Then from there, you're just kind of eating what your parents give you. Then from there, you're eating whatever's at school. The first time you're really on your own making decisions, you're maybe 18, depending on, somebody's arc of their life. And at that point, you're just kind of doing what, you just kind of learned habits by then. And what we spend a lot of time on is like truly educating people how to eat.
Yeah.
It's at no fault of anybody's. That's not something we're taught. At least, I know we have some international clients that have different perspectives, but in the US, unless you literally study nutrition, you're not learning how to eat. And it's the craziest thing to me. I mean, even our doctors, you as a nurse, I mean, you're very much working in healthcare, and you probably don't have any nutritional background before working with us, and that's again
Really.
not your fault. It's just like, I don't
It
know,
was like very
it's
limited.
interesting to me. Yeah, exactly. So very cool. So I know we really kind of told your story there. Is there anything else that you'd like to add or comment about working with us?
I just was blown away at the support that I had. I mean, I mentioned this before, that I had a lot of questions in the beginning, and like I'm the kind of person where I always feel like I'm annoying someone, so like I never really wanted to reach out, but I got over that very quickly. I remember, what was it? I think the first week or something was like, can I switch out like brown rice pasta for chickpea pasta? And you were like, yeah, like it's totally fine. Like, yeah, like ask me any question you want. Like, and I was like, I don't want to annoy him. But then I just texted you, and you were like, yeah, definitely. You got back to me in like 4 seconds, I think. And then that kind of like set the tone for like the relationship, I guess. Like I would just felt comfortable asking anything, and I guess that's just really what I have to add. Like I just felt very supported, which is nice, because I
Good.
didn't really know anything, and it was nice. It was a good feeling to like have someone looking out.
Very cool. Well, I think whether somebody decides to work with us, whether they work with someone else, as long as you, one, reach your goals, two, have a plan for success well after you work with that person, but then three, my hope is that somebody gets to feel that way during the process, because it's, losing weight, gaining muscle, whatever your goal is, it shouldn't be pulling teeth. It should be a comfortable, enjoyable process. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that, that was your experience. Nick, before I wrap this video up, I just want to say we're all so incredibly proud of the success you had. There's no
Thank
doubt
you.
in my mind that you would have had that with or without us. We're glad that we got to be a part of it, but we really just gave you the tools. That you did all the work. You made it happen, and I think I speak for all of our coaches when I say we cannot wait to see what other things you do in your life and the other successes you have, because you're going to kick some ass, man. And I'm sorry for swearing, but you are, and we know you are. So
thank you.
Awesome,
I want to thank you guys too.
Absolutely, man. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. If you're watching this is Nick. I don't know if the video's gonna be right, but just quick round of applause for Nick. Woo! I'm all in my office and nobody's here, but thanks for coming on, Nick.
Yeah, sure.
We'll catch you soon.